everybody. It's 6 o'clock. We start on time, just trying to end on time. But what a great crowd this is. We're coming out to support the candidates of the city of Brighton. So I'm one of your county commissioner out of District 9, David Copeland. Council Murphy, one of your other county commissioners. So we're glad y'all are here. So what we'll do is I don't know. Probably all of y'all didn't get, we didn't really put out an agenda, but we were going to start with our newly elected District 9 School Board representation. Representative. We put Alicia at an hour, and she was for an hour, and then we got to drag her. You know, so Alicia, take it away. You might have to well, we're hoping that it works.
He worked to hold it.
Yeah, hold it.
Hold it right
I just wanted to say hi and introduce myself, and I'm always going to be available. Any questions, any concerns. So I'm not here to listen to them, but I just wanted to say hi and look forward to working for the children, the community, and doing good things.
Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask right quick? She's really new, but I know she'll be glad to answer if she can. Okay, no questions. All right. Up next, we have Chief Max. Oh, there he is right in front of me. And I really wanted Chief Max to take a few minutes and kind of let the citizens know, you see it every day. What's happening? Scams, or is it, I know sometimes we hear the sheriff said trailers are hot. What's kind of going on, and if you'll give us a little synopsis of what's going on within the city, we'd appreciate it.
See if I can get this order.
There we go.
Very creative.
All right.
Like Mr. Copeland said, my name's Blaine Max. I'm the Chief of Police here at Brighton Police Department. I've been the Chief since February of 23. And appreciate all y'all coming out tonight and supporting our candidates. You know, it's really important that everybody get involved and, you know, just have their voice heard, I guess. So, just to let you know, we have 8 officers, 1 crossing guard, 3 SROs, so we have 5 on patrol, including myself. Last year, we answered 5,700 calls for service, and so far this year, we're on track to hit that number as well. Out of our 8 officers, 3 of them live in Brighton, and my mother lives in Brighton. A lot of their family lives in Brighton too. So my officers are invested in the community just as much as anybody else. So they take it, you know, they take it hard whenever something gets stolen or somebody gets hurt. You know, they're really working hard to solve it. Some of the stuff we've been seeing lately, we've been having a lot of social media scams, phone scams, scams for the elderly. My grandmother was actually scammed the other day. She was on her computer and she got a pop-up and said, "Your computer's infected. Click here to, you know, get rid of it." So she clicked there and they got her credit card information and got some money out of her. And she was telling me that. I was like, "No, tell me you didn't mean." She said, "Yeah, I did." So she got it all figured out. But that happens every day. And, you know, they're preying on the people that have the least amount of knowledge in this stuff. And, you know, social media is a huge thing now. So we're also seeing a lot of theft coming from Memphis and it's just been increasing. I don't know the exact number over last year, but it's a lot. We've had several lately. We had a trailer and lawnmower and some lawn that was stolen this last week. And with the help of the community, we had that gentleman's belongings back the next day. So Atoka has been seeing the same thing, just like Munford and Tiffany County. The same people responsible had a hand in stealing some stuff at Atoka and Tiffany County as well. A lot of identity theft. Just be careful who you give your your information out to you. I even got a phone call the other day, told me my debit card was compromised, but they wouldn't even give me my debit card number. So, you know, just be aware of that stuff.
Hey, Chief, can I interrupt? I'm so sorry, just a minute. But when you talked about people calling you, Medicare, for those of y'all that are on Medicare, Medicare will never call you and ask for your number. My mother did that the other day, and she told them her birthday. So, anyways, part of when you mention people calling, if they're with Medicare, click. So, anyway, sorry, I don't want to make sure I said that.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, you know, when they called me and said Navy Federal Credit Union, and it had the same exact number, it was the L number when you called the bank. Well, I called them and they said, we're never going to call you and ask for any information. You know, so if y'all are ever in doubt, just hang up and call the, you know, your bank, you know, healthcare provider, whatever information is they're trying to get, just to make sure how they come in contact with you. So that you can be sure you're, you know, if you need to give it, you're giving it to the right people. I'm sure many of you are aware, we had a bunch of social media threats this past week for the schools. It's been a huge deal, and it's not just this year, it was a big deal last year too. First 3 weeks of school, we had 3 bomb threats, all from the middle school. This year's, we've had a couple at the middle school, but the most have been targeted at the high school. We received a threat on Wednesday, and I was notified at 8:12. And by the next morning at 10 o'clock, we had that suspect in custody. And with the help of our new General Sessions Judge, Judge Eckel, hope, you know, he sends a message out that, you know, kids are not going to get released back to their parents when this something happens. Because I think that was a lot in the past. They think they just do whatever and they're going to get sent back home and everything's going to be fine. They might have to do a little probation. I don't know how big our community will grow from Blue Oval, but as y'all know, they postponed it a couple of years. But I'm sure we're going to be seeing the effects of it regardless of, you know, how many more houses we get. But we already have a few houses over on Oak Avenue, and we've seen a little bit over there so far. As far as stuff going on, items stolen. That's about all I have. If anybody has any questions or anything, I can answer. I can. Well, I appreciate y'all coming out.
First of all, before we get started, Commissioner Murphy and I wanted to showcase our new logo for Tipton County. So if anybody goes to tiptonco.com, I think they'll get to see the new Tipton County close to perfect. So we were very excited to be able to show y'all what that looks like. I think now let's go to the Alderman candidates and let them stand up and tell why they're running.
Let's go to the.
Oh, rules. Rules? We got rules?
We have rules. We have rules. These are given to the candidates as they got here this evening, so I just kind of want to go over them and let everyone in the audience kind of know what we're expecting tonight. Each candidate here in this room will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves. So we'll start probably here on this end and just work our way down. All right, we'll start on this end. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves. Each attendee, all the audience here is allowed to ask one question with a follow-up. Due to the size of the crowd, we'll limit it to one question with a follow-up. If time allows, we will allow for a second question, but again, just one question with a follow-up. The candidates are asked to keep their responses for 2 minutes or less. We ask that you be respectful of others, no talking over others or using coarse language or yelling. Please keep questions and answers focused on the city elections and issues that affect the city. This is not a meeting to complain about what's going on currently. There is a forum for that. That's the city council meeting. So if you have something that's a current issue that needs addressing, that would be where you would want to take that. This is more or less to kind of get to know the candidates and kind of see how they would respond to various questions that you would have. And lastly, we as moderators reserve the right to ask anyone causing a disturbance to leave. We hope that doesn't happen tonight. So to start off with, we'll ask each candidate. We'll start with the mayoral candidates, Mr. Patrick, Mr. 2 minutes to introduce yourself. If you'd like to stand up and go to the podium, you may do so, or if you want to project from your seat, you can do that as well.
Good evening, everybody. Thank y'all for coming out, and thank you, David, for organizing the event. My name's Josh Hazelrig, 44 years old, lifelong resident of Pigeon County, graduate of Covington High School, Dyersburg State Community College. Moved to Brighton in 2000 when Eric and my wife and I got married. Since then, we've raised our 2 sons, Garrett and Warren, here in Brighton. I live, work, own a business here in this town. My kids have attended school and played sports here in this town. I have managed our family business for over 24 years here in Brighton. For the past 17 plus years, my family's been active members at Holly Grove Church, where I've had the honor and privilege of serving on the committees and on the board as an elder. Additionally, I've served on committees and as a board member for the Memphis Emmaus community, and I'm currently the chairman of the board for the Memphis Christmas community. The primary role of a mayor to me is to serve the community. And my past experience with collaborating with others, I feel, has equipped me with the skills to serve Brighton effectively. Brighton's a small town. I would say if you ask anybody here, that's why we're here. We like being in a small town. We all cherish that small town atmosphere, often described as having a Mayberry feel. And with that comes the task of effort, work. And that's what I intend to do as mayor, is to work diligently to ensure that we all feel safe and secure in our small town. By working in partnership with the community, we can set and achieve goals to maintain and improve our town's needs. Thank you very much. It will be a privilege and honor to be elected as mayor of Brighton.
We'll let Beasley step up if you'd like to.
Hello everyone, my name is Reagan Beasley. I've lived in Brighton for 15 years. I'm 26 years old, I'm married for 2, and I'm a full-time caregiver for my grandfather who raised. Brighton is my home. I plan to live here as long as I can. It's been good to me. I went to school here, graduated in 16. I've been involved in all the general elections over there at Brighton Baptist Church, cheering for the candidates that we want to help our town. So I'm very involved in candidates, and I've met a lot of them. They're wonderful people. I've watched my town grow. I've watched my town shrink in some regard. I want to live in a Brighton, and I want to see a Brighton where we build our police department. We focus on the retention of officers. If we're going to grow, because of Blue Oval or other things, we need to make sure that we have enough officers, fire and public works as well. I believe they're all short-staffed, and that may be things out of our control at the moment. But I believe that I, along with you and can find ways to save money, find ways to raise money, volunteer program, clean our streets, fix our ball fields, have festivals, and to attract development in our town. Brighton needs to grow. Brighton needs to succeed. There's nothing I'd rather have, and I'm sure you all feel the same. And the right way to do that is to focus on the basics. We need to prioritize our first responders, give them everything they need, focus on our roads, focus on the people. For example, I will install poles at Town Hall as mayor, at least a month ahead, or whatever's comfortable, for the people to come in, give their opinion on any ordinance that is to be adopted, amended, or abolished, so that the board, whoever's elected, can better be informed to decide with you. So I'd be honored to be your mayor. Brighton is my home. I hope to be buried have any questions.
We'll get some questions.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Eunice Foster, Eunice Foster / Sonny Foster. Most of you probably know me as Sonny Foster. Okay, now a little bit of, well, first I'd like to thank our sponsors for having us out today. And I think it's a good thing for all the candidates and the all the supporters to come together. I think that's a good thing. And also, I'd like to thank you all for taking out the time out of your busy schedule to come out and be a part of this. Now, a little bit about me. I'm a very godly man. I have been an entrepreneur for the last 40 years of my life. I've been a public servant for the last 30 years of my life. I worked in Covington as a police officer for about 20 years. I was born and I was raised here in Brighton. It's probably where I died, here in Brighton. Brighton have a lot of good people living in Brighton, and I love Brighton. Now, the reason why I'm running for mayor is because I feel that it's the right thing to do for the city right now. You know, I've always, the platform that I'm running on is pretty much the same platform that I ran on when I came into Alderman. And that was to help bring good, wholesome businesses into the city and to bring people of good character into the city and to help the city grow. Now, I have to take my hat off to our current mayor, Mayor Stephanie. She has done a superb job in grooming the city and helping the city to move forward in a positive way. And really, I think really what I would like to do is just piggyback off of what she has set up and just help move the city right on forward. Also, I have helped move the city right on forward from what she has established and stuff. And so with that said, you know, I would.
We're good. Thank you.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
I was just
2 minutes go by fast. All time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charles Maxey. I'm running for one of the alderman positions. For those who don't know me, I'm 29 years old. I am a Christian conservative. I've been raised here in Brighton since 2000 when my family moved here, and I currently still live here in the Woodline Plantation subdivision. I graduated from Brighton High School in 2013. Following high school, I worked toward earning my associate's degree at Dyersburg State Community College in Business Administration. I would like everyone to know tonight that I'm not here to give empty promises nor a list of changes that I want to have done. I want to be a servant to the town and give my time and dedication to the town of Brighton. There's a bunch of issues we have, but hopefully whoever gets voted in, we can fix those issues. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Coach, right here, and welcome everybody. I see a lot of people that I know that I went to school with. My name is David Huffman, and I'm a 1983 graduate of Brighton High School. I'm 60 years old. I'm a lifelong citizen of Brighton. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Amanda. We have 3 grown kids and 4 grandboys. So one of the reasons I'm running is I love Brighton, and I want my grandkids to experience the tight-knit community and the community involvement that I grew up with. And so I'm here to run. I want to make sure that Mr. Max, you know, we have to keep our children and citizens safe. To me, that's top priority. I would love to see Brighton maybe build back some of the things even better for our youth as far as youth sports and things like that. That's one of the fondest memories that I've ever had in Brighton, Tennessee. So with that being said, I would love anyone. I would appreciate your vote, and thank you all for coming out. And I live on Kenwood Avenue, over by the Crooked Tunnel, some of us call it. If anybody wants to come by and ask me any questions or give me a call, please feel free to do so. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Organizers of the event. Appreciate you all coming out. My name is David Tate, 46 years old, graduate of Covenant High, class of 1998. In 2000, moved to Brighton for my plantation. I have my lovely wife over there and my children over there. Some of y'all may have seen them in the neighborhood. They grew up playing Dixie ball, Cub Scout, Pack 260. Covenant High, Brighton high school football players, wrestling. When me and my son, he was the top 10 wrestler for the state of Tennessee. First year wrestling. So, let you know my children, I'm very proud of them, what they have grown up to be. I'm a family man. I'm just an everyday American. I'm not no politician. You know, I got 17 years in corrections. Worked alongside a U.S. Marshal at the federal building, also transferred to Tiffany County Sheriff's Office. I had the opportunity to work there with Sheriff Shannon Beasley. So I have a business in Millington, so I'm not going to promote the business, but we're here about the community. I want to bring that hometown feel back. You know, I remember a couple people talk about baseball, the weekends at the baseball field, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, packed. You know, kids out there playing baseball. I want to bring that back. You know, that's what I'm focused on. We have a lot of opportunities coming our way. Having a business in Millington with their big build-ups, it's a lot of investors that's looking for places. We got a lot of empty buildings around here, y'all, that's just sitting up. Don't want to blow the city up. We still want that small town feel, but it's a way that we can generate revenue with our town. So I look for you all support, your ideas. If you have any questions or you have anything you want to talk to me about, feel free. I'm just a person, love my family, put God first. I go to St. John Toker. I'm a trustee on the leadership board. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you. Thank you.
Grew up in Brighton, born and raised here, as were my parents and grandparents. When I graduated from Brighton, the old Brighton High School, by the way, I'm 70 years old, everybody's given an age, I'm exactly mine. When I graduated from old Brighton, went to UT Martin, my degree is in biology from there, went to University of Tennessee Health Science Center, I have a bachelor in nursing from down here. I spent 31 years with the Memphis Police Department Reserve Unit. I retired from there in 2018. The last 19 years of my nursing career, I worked at Methodist North in the emergency room. Retired in 2023, and I'm here to help people, serve people, and try to get Brighton back to what at least I envision. You'll have to be a team effort, and I hope that y'all will put some thought into your decisions about your voting, but I would appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Everyone, my name is Kyle Smith, lifelong resident of Brighton, grew up here. 45 years old, I do commercial HVAC for a living, used to do maintenance, worked for 5 years, certificate in board education, where I was stationed at Brighton High School doing maintenance. Main thing I want to do for this town is repair the infrastructure of this town. This town had a fair amount of money years ago, and now this town's on borderline of being broke. And I would like to see this town rebuilt. I kind of agree with everyone else about the ball fields and everything. I've got a 2-year-old, a 6-year-old, and 11-year-old. I can remember as a child riding every street in this town with my bicycle. I wouldn't even let my kids ride their bicycle on my street. You know, everybody talks about growth. I don't believe in growth. This town's big enough. This town has enough businesses in it to supply plenty enough revenue for this entire town. I believe in making this town safe, having our police department 100% back, making our town as safe as possible. Anybody ever has any questions, I live right back to church. I'm more than willing to sit down and talk with anyone, discuss anything you want. Thank y'all, appreciate you voting for me.
We'll thank the candidates for that brief introduction. What we'll do is, the audience, anyone in the audience wants to ask a question, you're welcome to raise your hand. Once you are recognized, you just tell us who you'd like to, for all the candidates to answer the question, or give a specific candidate that you'd like to ask that question to and have them answer it. Just remember there is a 2-minute limit on the answers. If you want follow-up before we move to the next person. So at this particular time, since Gus Smith is offered to get the first question up, I'll ask you if you'll stand and ask the question. Is this for all the candidates, or is this just for one particular candidate, or for this?
Mr. Foster, I want to know if you're elected later, will you continue not to pledge allegiance to my American flag? You're not doing it now, when you do it when you get to be mayor.
Probably will, because it's something I'm grappling with right now.
Probably's not a good answer.
Well, that's the answer I'm giving you. Now, when I finish grappling with what I'm grappling with, I probably will, but right now I'm grappling with something else. Now, that's your answer.
No, you need to grab what
No, you need to disappear. You need to disappear.
Thank you, thank you, Alderman. Thank you.
You need to disappear.
Let's go, wait. Hey, now, let me tell this to everybody right now. We can stop this right now. We did this for y'all, out of respect for y'all. And that's what we expect up here, out of anybody. It doesn't, I want to hear it, I live here, I work here, I love Brighton. But this is what we did for y'all. And if anybody doesn't like that, then they can do something different. So, if anybody's got any questions for me right now, I'll be glad to take them. Here's Commissioner Murphy. So, next question.
Next question. Anyone else have a question? Yes, sir.
This is for the mayor candidates. What is it that, what leadership skills are you going to bring to bear to make the town make it better? We've noticed that infrastructure has been a problem in the past. They've been working through it. It's really expensive to hire contractors. Parts are really expensive. Trying to get stuff delivered, that's been a problem, at least since before COVID. So we're still experiencing those issues. What is it that you're going to do to help fix those supposed issues?
You know, I would propose, like I said earlier, that we try, I mean, it's no quick fix for anything. So we have to try to get more businesses in here, get them tax paid, so we have more money to do more things with it. And what I'm talking about is, like I said, it won't happen overnight, but it can happen over a period of time. But we have to get it, set everything in motion. And that's get some decent business that we can get tax money.
So you mentioned it's hard to orchestrate these things and zero down since COVID. I didn't cite it at the podium. I've been in construction for 10 years. I've run crews. I'm very familiar with a lot of the aspects that go into, so let's say infrastructure, concrete work, things like that. And I think with Mr. Smith as Alderman, it's something better for sure. It's not an impossible task. It's matter of fact, it may even boil down to just the public works having what they need. I had a meeting with Jonathan today. He said he's short-staffed, and with revenue to provide these things, where will it come from? It should come from businesses we have. We need to fill up buildings that we have. We have those empty buildings. We can use those ball fields to make money. We have to. We may come from volunteer work in the beginning,
Once the ball gets rolling, we need to keep it going. That's what I said.
I've, like I said, I've been very much honored to serve on several different boards. Most of those are faith-based. That means they were not for profit. So their number one objective was to figure out where they were going to get money from. So got a little bit of experience with trying to figure out where to get money. And just to kind of reiterate, as far as the ball fields, that would be what incentivizing businesses into some of the buildings that we already have that may not be being occupied. It's going to bring us some sales tax revenues right there. And then incentivizing some volunteer work, because those ball fields aren't going to run themselves. It's going to be hard for us as the new administration to run those ball fields the way they need to be run. Back when they was talking about all that going on, they were down, my kids were down there also. We walked to the ball field. There was a lot of volunteer effort going on down there. Much of which you don't see anymore. If we can figure out some kind of way to incentivize that and draw people that can help, that's what it's going to take. A lot of people come together.
Thank you. Do you believe in the first of the Constitution of the United States?
Very much.
Absolutely.
Especially the freedom of speech part?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Smith, you're recognized.
There's one thing I want to mention to everyone. Everyone keeps talking about growth of community, growing businesses. I don't know if a lot of people understand the infrastructure of Brighton, the water system. We used to have our own water system. We now have to buy purchase water off the road. Our sewer system was implemented by Mr. Sir Marshall years ago. Money was supposed to be made off those high water bills everybody pays every month. All that money was supposed to be saved to be able to redo that sewer system within 20 years. Because within 20 years, if I'm not mistaken, that's about the date that I'm advertised. Within 20 years, that brand new sewer system was going to be outdated. That money is gone. That money has been gone for years. So when everybody talks about bringing businesses in, we don't have the water. We don't have the sewer system. I hope everyone understands that. This is going to cost us, the community, the taxpayers, more money to bring these businesses in. Yes, it will be tax revenue coming in from these businesses. It will be more convenience. You know, everybody loved the fast times came in. Grocery store, which wheels one way. But anyway, fast times newer and better. Everybody loves it. But the town is taxed with all this extra sewer, extra water use, everything else. But where's that money going to come from other than our pockets, our taxpaying dollars, to redo the sewer system, water system, and everything else? I just want to bring that up. I'm sorry.
All right, floor is open for questions. If someone else would like to ask a question. Sure, there's someone that wants to ask, but yes, ma'am, you're recognized. Is it for everyone or just one individual in particular?
It's for everyone.
Okay.
I was a teacher for 16 years and an administrator for 15 before I retired. And I just wanted to point out something. I had students who didn't stand, but that was their right. So the First Amendment also says, and also I have to remember that your right, when it starts to infringe on my right, that's what the other person's right is. So we have to be aware of all rights. And I want our candidates to be aware of everyone's right. I had students who didn't stand, but that was their right. And students who stood. That's their right also. That's the American way.
Amen.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions from anyone? Yes, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome. Right.
I just want to know if any of you ever thought about dropping the sewer and water bill. Anything we can do about it? Anybody ever thought about it in this town?
What you said, drop
I
it?
paid $180 a month for water and sewer every day. You ever thought about that? Did any of y'all ever thought about that? Y'all got everything else. Y'all gonna give buy cars, running around and everything else. Have you ever thought about something? People, more people in town need. I don't need all this stuff that y'all talking about. I need the bills, but I don't need to be paying more taxes. I'm retired. I don't need all this
the traffic.
Yes, sir, I'm gonna take that, I think something like that, I think is certainly viable and on everybody's mind, but I think that might be a question for a town hall when they're still in session, or the new administration part of when that's put in place. When are y'all sworn in? November? December? Okay.
They
Yes,
can't
sir.
answer what they're gonna do now.
Well, I mean, they certainly can try, I just don't want it to get off of what we've got now.
Y'all don't think they're gonna do what you're gonna do anyway.
All right, any other questions? Ready?
Well, we have some questions. Yes, sir.
I wanna ask you this.
Not really a debate, but if we can.
Not the business.
Okay, just a question of these.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if a city is not growing at all, do you disagree that whether that city is dying, if it's not growing, do you disagree with that?
Do I disagree with it not growing? Yes, I disagree with that. There are thousands of people that live in this town. Those people aren't dying. They ain't going away.
No, but look at Brighton compared to Etoka. Look at it compared to Monmouth.
Yes, sir. And that's why I live in Brighton. That's why I live in Etoka. That's why I
Brighton
live
is what?
That's why I live in Memphis. I go to work from Memphis every day, but I come back here.
Okay. Good answer.
What,
Thank you.
what we're gonna do now is we got a couple of questions here, to address to the individuals. And what we'd like to do is I'll ask the question, and I think we'll start with each candidate. I know some of the Alderman candidates would like to have some time to be able to, express some of their views and let individuals who will be voting kind of know where they stand on some issues. So the first question I'll have for all the candidates, and we'll start with Mr. Smith at the far end. We've addressed this a little bit, but I'll give an opportunity to reiterate what they said, or if they've not had a chance to address it, do so. So my first question is what is the most pressing issue in the town of Brighton? If you could point to one issue that's more pressing than anything else in this town, what would it be? And then what would you believe would be the best way to address that issue? Do you have a specific solution in mind, or do you have a group of solutions that will bring about the culmination of solving that?
My opinion is the infrastructure, the water system, the sewer system, the streets, the ditches. How many times have people complained about culverts falling in? How many people have rode down Old Highway 51 and seen this orange fence up down here for 2 years, 3 years now? Repairing Brighton, fixing Brighton. I'm not worried about Brighton growing, I'm worried about fixing Brighton.
And how do you believe that can be done? What tools do you think
I
we
believe
have?
a breath of fresh air.
Pardon?
I believe a breath of fresh air, a new council, a new committee, a new mayor. We've got several people, I believe, well, we've got 2 candidates here that have been on board previously. Mr. Foster also stated, you got to put things into play. It doesn't happen over tomorrow. Mr. Foster's been on the board for 4 years now. I'm pretty curious what's already been put in play in those 4 years that he's been on the board. So, well, we discussed that. But that's what he's saying. Nothing's going to happen tomorrow. But hey, nothing's happened over the past several years. I think we need some new candidates. I think we need some new people to represent Brighton, stand up for Brighton, fight for Brighton, and make Brighton the home that everybody loves.
All right, Sean, the questions to you. What do you believe is the most pressing issue, and what type of solutions do you believe would address that issue?
Kind of piggyback on what Kyle said, those things are important. First and foremost, you have to have your fiscal affairs in order. You gotta have money or you can't fix anything. So, without having direct, intimate knowledge of the money structure right now, there's a lot I can answer. But I do believe that perhaps some of the money could be reallocated or moved around to help with those issues, with the physical issues, not the fiscal, but the physical. And as far as growth, once Brighton appears to prosper and does better and has the money to do things, in turn we should have growth. Both individuals moving here and businesses possible.
Thank you. Mr. James?
Just to piggyback, infrastructure, I live in Blue Plantation, it's been an eyesore seeing those orange fits around those sinkholes. so many years. You know, our kids go out to play, and you know we got to stay away from that sinkhole or this or that. So the infrastructure is the main thing. You know, drainage, sinkholes, and I think one way that we can generate revenue. You know, we got a lot of empty buildings around here that's just sitting up. You know, let's start putting a couple. Let's approach some investors to bring their business here. You know, smart build up, not big corporations build up. You know, let's try to get some grants going for the city. You know, I think that's the best way right there.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I agree that infrastructure is definitely at the top of the list. And I think what we would have to do is we need to get super aggressive and get information on as many federal and state grants to help us fix these streets. And then we also, as they touched on, we've got to try to generate more tax dollars as far as revenue from new businesses and things of that nature. But to me, one of the opportunities I feel like maybe we can do our best is getting after some state and federal grants and going to the right people that will help us apply and achieve those grants. Speaking of those two guys right here, I know they can help us do it. Anyway, thank you.
They said pretty much all of it. Something else that I was made aware of walking around talking to people, the tornado siren in town has not worked in apparently quite a few years, if not more than that. I don't have an estimate of what it would cost, but I'm sure that's something we can get a grant to get fixed and replaced. That was the main concern walking around. A lot of people did inform me of, other than the roads and part of the sewage, the drainage up in Woodlawn Plantation and other things.
The biggest issue that's on my mind is the future. Okay, now we have to invest in our children today because they are the one that's going to be taking this Brighton on into the future. So I suggest that we start getting more activities here in the city of Brighton to entertain our young people and keep them off the streets and get them more involved with civics and stuff for trying to make this a better. My thing is trying to get the gym going, get the baseball diamonds, get them all in motion and trying to get things for the future of our children. And really, in any situation, the children is the future. And if you don't invest in them, you lose it out.
Thank you, sir.
Infrastructure is single-handedly the biggest issue. Second would be police. They just don't have enough wages or officers. They need more officer retention. But I'd like to say I totally agree with Kyle Smith. We need our own water supply. We can shoot for that goal and be independent with lower the water bill at the end of the day. I mean, before the decade is over, we can achieve that. That would be an incredible thing. Dave Huffman, he also need to aggressively go up after infrastructure because of poor road conditions as well as Kyle Smith. If you haven't seen the creek under Main Street, I went and looked at it today actually. There's a beaver dam on one side. Amazing to look at. So infrastructure would be it.
Well, hearing all the responses makes me think that police and fire doesn't sound like it's a major issue. So for that, I'm thankful. Not to sound like a broken record, but I would have to agree on infrastructure, but more specifically, the drainage issues, because out of all the infrastructure issues, that's the primary one when it comes to safety. A lot of these people's yards are falling in, and the kids are running in the yards, and it's just unsafe. So to me, with safety being a priority, if you specify which infrastructure issue is the storm drainage issue. But really, if you boil all that down, that's still not the most pressing issue. The most pressing issue is lack of funding. If you've got funding, none of anything that anybody said was an issue, because you can fix all that with money. we've got to work on and try to figure out how we can, if not break, at least loosen some of those constraints. Whether it be growth, whether it be whatever, we've got to figure that out. And I'm looking forward to hopefully working with the new administration, fresh set, eyes and ears, and hopefully figuring out ways we can do that. I'm all for business growth, commercial growth. I don't want to see a whole lot of new structures when we've got empty structures. There's a huge building right there at the red light in Brighton. It's never been full. It's been there for how long? I lose track of time, but it seems like 20 years. And it's always been maybe half full at most for a small amount of time. There's a lot of sales tax revenue we can get out of a building like that. That would create some more ways. But until we find out a way to get some money flowing in, these issues, infrastructure, police, whatever it may be, lack of police is what I'm getting at with police. They're just going, it's just going to be dead horse syndrome. Dead horse syndrome. So that's what we've got to work on.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone have any follow-up questions or any answers that any of the candidates have given? Yes, sir.
This town can be self-sufficient. I ain't pat myself on the back to no whistle. When I left this place in 2003, I had over $1 million in CDs. The town had saved this much money, over $1 million. How much money they got in savings and CDs? I know the town can run a whole lot cheaper than a whole lot better. I know it can. It can be done because I did it. One other thing. Brighton is a bedroom community. You never have the business. The only problem you got is Pensacola property. You'll never bring business in Brighton. Brighton is a bedroom community, and I believe that's the reason everybody lives here. We have good schools, it's a good community.
Always known for commercial property in Brighton.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
So I'm from Harrington, and I'm well aware of the Arlington City because one's in front of my house. For everybody, what is your position on funding? So we obviously know we need funding to fix these problems. Are you open to making the tough decisions and reallocate, or are you proponent of raising taxes?
I would be more in the area of trying to get some grants to get some of this done, because you're talking about those orange, particularly orange gates and things. It's going to take millions and millions of dollars to get that straightened out. So we really need grants from the federal government to straighten out.
It is going to take grants, but they've been trying to get grants this whole time. And we've been waiting. So we may have to reallocate just the start. And I don't know. I haven't laid my eyes on the finances. It probably would get out of the realm of possibility that taxes go up slightly. I'm being honest, because the issues, these sinkholes, this erosion, and I've interviewed people who live in these homes, and I don't think I stopped at yours, but I was in Carrington, and she has one, I forget her name, runs all the way to the front porch. 50 feet, 60 feet, a sticky yard do this. You know, it's probably 3 or 4 feet of dirt there that's just moving to go in. So, major issue, millions of dollars, as Mr. Foster said, it's a big, big issue. Of course, fight for grants, but we want it now. Tough decisions we can make.
Ms. Young, you're correct.
As far as grants, the average person is not knowing how to identify and write grants. You've got to have somebody that has expertise in that area, and if they word it just right and address it to the correct people, it's a great possibility. But if you have somebody just arbitrarily writing stuff down and requesting stuff, you won't get it. Now that's from working at me too. If you won't have it. You gotta have knowledge.
Mr. Page?
There are certain agencies out there that strictly write grants out there. Like you said, the average person just can't write the grant and send it up. Like Solo County, for instance, they got a lot of major grants because they have a specialized grant writer. You know, maybe we can reach out to some of those agencies to help us with the issue.
Mr. Smith, and I'll get back to you, sir. If you want to address this question, I'll let him do that, and I'll get you.
Also, another thing, Growth. Everybody keeps mentioning growth. This growth, that's what's causing these problems. The Timms family made millions and millions of dollars off this town. They brought growth in. Woodlawn Plantation, McClister, Carrington, then they did one at Jesse Avenue. All those were built with the Timms family. All of it passed code years ago. Code years ago, they were allowed to put galvanized culverts in. All this problems happened because now, 30 years later, 40 years later, I used to work for the Timms when I was 17 years old. All that subdivision out there, I delivered half the material out there and coated almost all the sheetrock. But that's why it's failing there. All these culverts and everything are just rusting out, falling in. Also, Mr. Foster, you said invest in our kids, correct?
Say what now?
You said invest in our kids.
For sure, yeah.
Same thing you said 4 years ago, with your candidates. So that mayor right there, both of y'all were supposed to get those ball fields going 4 years ago, is what I remember hearing in this.
But you also hear we had money problems too, but we hear that.
Yes, sir, it was this Brandon Town Hall. How much money was spent on this Brandon Town Hall? How much money could have gone back in the community?
Sir, you're recognized.
Sometimes they're talking about the grant. Hasn't Brighton got plenty of grants? Cars, pay this building grant, but they're not all the grant. That's what I'm saying. If we could bought with a grant, why didn't we buy it?
Right.
Why didn't we buy those 750 or 600? Why didn't we spend that kind of money when that could have fixed the interest, half the interest?
So yes,
Yes, sir.
that is a question we're here about these candidates. So I would certainly, we'll let that administration, that if you want to talk about that, we'll talk about that at their next council. But I appreciate that question, but so let's ask them like, what are they gonna do? Let's move
Are y'all
forward.
gonna make it transparent, the dime, the money, down to the.
100%.
Yes,
100%.
You know, not have to go pay a lawyer and then get a fill out of that and hand it to them and try to get what we spend our money on.
Thank you very much. Next, somebody else had their hand.
The lady in the front row.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Beasley, you mentioned that you would be raising taxes. Are you okay with first looking at where money to reallocate?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's a process of elimination, definitely. So we're gonna start with the money we have and the potential to generate money. Well, we can think about that. Absolutely. You guys have suffered enough. You really have. The last thing I wanna do is raise taxes. I promise you that.
But relocating, reallocating money. Okay, we have to have it before you can do that. If you go to moving money, you still might not want to come up with enough money to deal with the issue that's going on with these orange deals in the communities and stuff. Even, I mean, you know, to move all the money, you know, find money for that.
I'm sure there's some. Maybe here's not what was I talking about?
But if you're taking enough money to fix one, to get everybody else to come in, you just.
One is better than none. I'll tell you that. Mr. Washington.
I've got a quick question. Are y'all all land or homeowners in the city of Brighton?
Yes.
Everybody's got a home or land? Everybody? Yes?
I didn't mention earlier, I live right here on Old 51. House my dad built in 1958, moved back 17 years ago.
Sir, you actually have to be a resident in the
Yes,
city
I know.
to run for office.
I think he's concerned, I'm just wondering if anyone's a renter instead of.
Yeah, a renter.
That's the question.
What's the difference? I'm just asking a question. I ain't got no mention. A renter or second class citizen?
Let's not start that.
That's what it sounds like.
No, it's not what it's about. Let's just continue.
Well, I don't start raising my taxes that they're not invested back in the community.
Right.
Any other questions?
Infrastructure's been involved a lot, and grant money, and I don't think everybody understands that certain grants are restricted for use. You're only allowed to use certain monies for certain things. We're competing with everybody in the state and the country for that money. All right, so little town Brighton's got to figure out, and a lot of times we get pushed aside because we're small. In order to have a bigger voice, we're going to have to grow. And I know the growing pains people don't like that. The orange fence deal, yes, a lot of people did some shady stuff. And there's some people on this candidate board that want to get rid of departments that would regulate that. So how is the town gonna regulate, how are you as candidates, mayor or alderman, gonna help the departments regulate and make everything more efficient in order so we don't have orange fences in all of our neighborhoods, our streets all tore up, but still maintaining the integrity of the town?
One of the candidates like to address that question.
Yeah, I would say that definitely, whenever a new construction, let's just go, call it that new subdivision, whatever it may be. If we don't have some sort of supervision, monitoring, and the construction people, whoever's developing the subdivision, follow the codes and put in the proper culverts or whatever it may be, I mean, then we're gonna fight a losing battle, because if those, these developers or whatever who are building subdivisions, if they're not monitored and supervised, then they're gonna cut corners and save money. That's just the way it is. And when that money gets saved, sometimes on their end, we don't want it to cost us in the future. And it sounds like that possibly what may have happened. So we definitely have to have supervision on new construction. It's just the way it's got to be.
I agree with that as well, and I also believe, I don't know there's facts and figures on this, but I believe the town has had several different grants over the past few years that they've actually had to give the money back to the state because they didn't know what to do with the money. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty certain of on that. But yes, sir, there are grants out there, and yes, sir, you are correct, someone has to monitor those things. As far as what I mentioned a moment ago about the galvanized culverts, that was up to code back in the day. Father was mayor back then and had an issue with Mr. Timms. I remember that because they tried to change the things on plans. And Mr. Timms didn't like that because it cost him a lot more money. But anyway, yes, sir, every bit of it needs to be 100% back and done 100% correctly. And enforced.
Mr. Brown, you have a question?
Yeah. You got $1 million saved, how come we can't do it now? What's the difference? You had CDs, $1 million put in CDs, all of a sudden we don't have a dime. I want to know why. Do y'all have any reason why we can't do it?
Go ask Mr. Jeff Scott that.
I can't have it. Do y'all have any plan to go back and do what he did so we can have this money?
The town voted in another man. You need to ask him that question.
And also, you stop and think about we're in different times now where things cost 3 times as much or 4 times as much as they did back in those days. So it's a money thing.
Citizens know we gotta eat, we gotta grow and survive.
I think everyone here understands that there's an issue with the money that was here that's no longer here, and that can be debated, for weeks on end. And I appreciate that. And I think as taxpayers, we're concerned about, I live in the city myself, we're concerned where'd that money go. But at the same time, what we're looking at right now is if we can't dwell on what's happened, we have to dwell on what we can do. At this particular point, we're kind of starting by, I would say in some ways we're starting behind the 8 ball. And these ladies and gentlemen that are here tonight are the ones that we're going to be looking to see, all right, how do we get ahead of this? And that's going to be their job, and that's going to be their responsibility. And so that's why we're doing this tonight, so we can understand as voters what these individuals are offering to do for us. And like I said, we can debate all day long what's happened in the past. It won't get us anywhere. It might make us feel a little bit better. But at the same time, what we've got to do is say, okay, this is 2024, and when these individuals get elected, they've got 4 years to prove themselves. Or as I tell folks that voted for me, you hired me, you can fire me. And so in 4 years, if they don't do what we want them to do, we can fire them. They can explain, it's up to them to explain why they can keep the job. So at this particular point, that's kind of what we're here tonight to do, is to understand what they want to do for the future. And I appreciate the issues with the water. I pay the water bill. I have a teenage son. I know how high they can get. Trust me. But at the same time, I know that's just a fact of life. So that being said, I'm on my soapbox, but Fisher Copeland is good.
First of all, let me congratulate for y'all 8 people that want to enter this arena. As you can tell, it's a fun arena sometimes. So I was laughing the other day, and sometimes when Commissioner Murphy and I have those difficult days or whatever, we're like, are we sure we wanted to sign up for this? So I don't open the door and anybody can run out while they still got a chance. No, I'm just kidding. So y'all brought up a lot of great points about grants and all that. My question, because Commissioner Murphy and I are fortunate enough to have what we call CTAS. Y'all have MTAS, which stands for Municipal Technical Advisory Services at y'all's disposal. So the question that I'll have, and I'm really, this is concerning the mayor since y'all will be the head, is what do you think your best involvement will be utilizing MTAS? And Mr. Alderman Foster, I'll let you start.
Well, I think, because of my past experience as a businessman, I think the best thing, the best way I would go with things is to always look at the cost and effect. And before you get into doing certain things, you got to make sure that you got everything, all your ducks in line, and you can already count your costs on what you're doing, and not just had doing stuff, had costs, and not really get yourself, get your foundation right. That's bottom line, get your foundation right. And how I would use them is just connect with them to see what they can, they can offer to the very situation that we have right here in the city. And I would connect with them to see what they could do to help us out of this.
First, I would approach my constituents and formulate whatever it is we're trying to achieve. Then I'll present that to MTAS and see if they have anything to add to it, and then also run that by my citizens. Because some municipalities just be dedicated to us and go with that. I think my constituents should see that as well before it gets approved. But on general issues, the board is this and that, how it should be laid out.
Yeah, I'm not real familiar with MTS, but I'm looking forward to, I've heard a lot of positive reinforcements about it. I'm looking forward to getting the same once maybe that's what it's going to do. And at the same time, I'm not limiting our services to that resource and everything else as well. Right. I'm looking forward to seeing what the benefits are to the city for that, for using that.
Sometimes, and I'll give you a follow-up to that, sometimes Commissioner Murphy and I are with Jason Mumpire, the comptroller of the state of Tennessee. And so anyway, that's certainly a resource. Can you see you reaching out, Mr. Hazel Rigg, to Mr. Mumpire for some guidance as virtually the state treasurer or somebody that oversees them?
Absolutely. Anybody that's got more experience than I do, that's what I'm here for, is to be that liaison between community and people out there that have the experience and this necessary knowledge to help those municipalities that are struggling with situations like front of them.
Yeah, I would definitely second that. Being conduit between the people and getting that expertise is fundamental, I would think, to the success of many laws passed.
You definitely have to use all your resources. You have to be confident enough, be savvy enough to tap into those resources and make them work.
Commissioner Murphy and I always want government to move a little bit faster, but we really don't want a call from the comptroller. So I'm glad y'all feel kind of the same way as well. What's that? Yeah, I mean, has anybody got any other questions, comments about, I do think these 8 candidates deserve a round of applause for wanting to. Nobody up here is doing it for the money. Wow. So anyway, we appreciate y'all coming. We're certainly, I think every candidate will probably stick around. If there's anything that Commissioner Murphy and I can do as far as the county legislative body, because y'all mean a great deal to us. Brighton, we love Brighton. We often tell our other fellow county commissioners that this is the center of the universe. And if they don't believe it, just move here and I'll prove it to them. So,
and I want to say on behalf of Commissioner Copeland, I want to take the opportunity to thank the city of Brighton for allowing us to use this facility tonight. We have in the past, until COVID kind of put a stop to it, we're trying to do community awareness meetings monthly, but with various topics, and we hope to get back to doing that. We've tried, but everybody's kind of busy. We will certainly try to do that again. But this is one of the opportunities that we have within the vein of community awareness to have the candidates here. We did it 4 years ago. And so I would invite everyone who was here tonight. I'm going to put the candidates on the spot. I'll ask them to stick around, because I know some people are shy about speaking in front of crowds. I know I am. So Oh, yeah, we both are very shy. So, I believe the candidates here, so if you want to speak to them and ask them any questions in particular or in private, you're welcome to do that. And as Commissioner Copeland said, you're welcome to ask us any questions with regards to the county. There's only, we don't really have a lot of, I speak for myself, we don't have a lot of experience, even though there are government entities, cities and counties do work a little bit different. So I'm not as up on my city regulations or ordinances as I am on the county, which is not much. Nevertheless, we're glad to address any questions you might have with regards to the county. Again, I want to thank y'all for coming tonight, and we'll go on later.
Let me get one other thing. And we look forward to continuing this relationship because Mayor Washam and the board have been most gracious to let when Commissioner Murphy and I have community awareness, because we do community awareness on y'all's behalf too, and they have been great partners, and I can't see it changing with whoever gets elected, because we certainly appreciate it. What a great building to hold these community awareness in. And my last thing is, we'll be looking at another community awareness. This is a little bit different form. Is there any topic that's on y'all's mind that Commissioner Murphy and I could address, or you would like to see addressed at the next community awareness meeting? We're not sure when that is, but always feel free to go, man, I'd really like to talk about this, or what's going on countywide, because it does affect us and everybody in this room, because we all live and play or play outside of the city of Brighton, so we certainly welcome that as well.
Just a reminder, and I'll make sure that I'm correct on this. Be sure to vote. I think early voting starts October 16th, is that right? 16th. Be sure to vote. Remember, you vote for 4 alderman positions, 1 mayor position. So you get a choice of 4. There are 5 here tonight, so it's going to make me some chairs, I'm sorry. But there are 4 and 1.
And everybody votes at Brighton Baptist, is that right? Well, early voting will be and the election commission. And then they, I guess, y'all municipal is the same way, don't they, Mayor? And Brighton Baptist. Okay.
Thank y'all
very much.